Hello, everyone, and welcome to the farewell voyage of the listenership, or Dem Guys podcast. Yeah, okay, that was an awful beginning to an end. Yeah, let's. But yeah, hi.
Let's try that one again.
Oh, you actually want me to start over?
Yeah, let's try that one again.
Okay.
I wasn't happy with that at all.
That was the beginning of your middle end.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the farewell voyage of Dem Guys podcast. It has what? You guys are
different.
Yeah, I did. You guys are laughing at my intro.
Last time you said it was the farewell voyage of the listenership. This time you said it's the farewell voyage of the podcast, which doesn't make as much sense.
Well, but if they're listening to the podcast, they know they're the listenership. It makes sense.
That's not what you said.
All this infighting is why we're not doing anything more after this.
Yeah, we couldn't stand each other anymore. We're done.
Oh man.
But yeah,
was that it? Was that the real intro? All right,
yeah,
cool.
that'll work.
Good. I like it.
Classic Dem Guys.
Moving right along.
The beginning of the end.
Yes. So anyway, yeah. As you guys probably noticed, we haven't uploaded anything in a really long time.
What was the last date we uploaded?
It was November, I think. I think it was November. I'm trying to pull it up now.
I feel like it was longer than that. I mean, that was 4 months ago, so...
Well, Snow, I don't think you were on the last podcast. Or no, Slash wasn't, because Daughter was there pretending to be Slash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 5 months ago.
I hate when websites
it was September.
Do that. When?
September 18th.
Oh, September.
2015. Wow. Yep.
And that was the one Daughter was in. What was the last one you were in, Slash?
Well, I guess the last one I was in, I think, was technically Untitled number 1.
That sounds right.
Which was just me and Drew.
Oh, right. That was our
just chit-chatting.
Questions one.
Yeah.
When was the last one all three of us?
The last one that we were all present for was June 24th.
It's almost been a year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of insane. I didn't realize it was that crazy.
If Drew got pregnant the last time we were all at his podcast, he would have his baby by now.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Thank you for that. That's
well,
really
congratulations.
Weird concept.
Everybody can just let's take a moment to allow the listeners to ponder that mental image.
Just think about it. Have a nice glow.
Roll it around in your mind.
Maybe we can get Daughter to draw that for us.
No, too far. Bad Drew.
No fan images.
No fan art.
Fan art.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You're so maternal.
But yeah, we just life moves on, I guess. Life changes quite a bit, and we kind of lost the ability to get the three of us together on a reliable, consistent basis. And so after it had been quite a while, Drew was like, we really need to get together, the three of us, just to say officially, yeah, the podcast is done. Because we have, since the last episode went up, we have gotten the occasional email questions, which I don't think we're going to bother getting to, so sorry about that. But, we figured it was a good idea to just finally come on and officially say, thanks for listening and,
bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Sarah J. MCB did send us one final question. I forget how long ago it was, but yeah, she sent us a question. When are you recording another podcast? So this answers it. This is this is the last one.
We answered the last question inadvertently.
This is it. We are doing it now. So,
because of that question.
Easy.
That is the real reason.
Yeah, because we needed to answer that one.
Yep.
Forget all the rest of them, but that one was an important one. Humanity would have been remiss without.
It's true.
Without that one answered.
Now humanity is miss, or whatever.
That sounds about right.
Whatever the opposite of remiss is.
I don't know, yeah.
Can we Google that?
unremiss.
Hang on, you guys continue doing your little thing. I'm gonna Google antonym of remiss.
Well,
This is
I
good-
will
good use of
mention then, if we're while Snow's looking that up, I did actually try to bring the podcast back at one point, and that's when I really realized that it wasn't going to work. But I actually was trying to get other people into the group, so even if the three of us couldn't necessarily do things together, we would have other people that would be officially members of Dem Guys. And so
Right.
it's kind of a shame to announce this on the final episode when we're ending, but since I forget end of December, beginning of January, daughter is officially a member of Dem Guys. So
So, welcome aboard. I don't know what that means now.
The answer is careful, in case you guys are wondering.
That's odd.
Oh, I was gonna
What?
do a thing where I asked the listenership if they knew what it was, but I forgot. So I just spoiled it. Sorry, guys.
Go back and pause
If you
before
just
he
edit
tells
it,
you,
like-
and then try to guess.
Yeah, flip what I said and put that at the end, and then say, I forgot
No,
to
no,
do
no.
this.
I'm not doing editing.
Oh,
I'm not
come
doing
on.
crazy editing on that. You kidding me? No.
Fine.
I'm telling the listeners to go back, right, before you said it, pause, and then forget what you said. And try to just like
That's
self-lobotomize or something.
That'll
just
work.
add it. Just add an annotation on the video. Pause here and guess what he's about to say.
That's
Nope,
a good
still
one.
too much work.
The issue is we don't have the budget for editing, so it's part of the reason we're ending the podcast as well.
This does kind of put me in mind of a post that I saw once online where it was like somebody was telling their friend, I would sell. Sometimes I feel like I would sell my soul to forget a TV show, so that's just so I could experience what it's like to watch it for the first time again.
Yeah,
And they said maybe you already have and you just don't know it.
Whoa.
I'm watching
So-
Breaking Bad for the second time, and I remember it the first time. So I feel like if that were true, then I would do it all the time.
For Breaking Bad, I think there's other ways to forget the first
Breaking Bag.
run through. Breaking Bag. That's right.
It's the prequel
Yeah.
when he was working at a grocery store for 6 years. Breaking Bag. The story of paper bags.
Someone get Lorne Michaels on the phone.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, we need to pitch that for an SNL skit. But yeah, it just trying to bring it back around to topic, I guess. Scheduling, I guess, was the main reason that we ended up just not getting anything out for several months. Well, we did have a good time. Like, there's no like animosity.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I am. I don't care what you think of me.
That's true. I guess you can't speak for the rest of us. I am very animus.
You're very animus. You're like alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
I'm playing Thaumcraft again, so that's why I thought of that for animus.
I thought of
But,
the
I
I just
animus
thought of Assassin's
from
Creed.
Assassin's Creed. Yep.
Oh, well, there you go.
Speaking of the topic that we were on.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, I definitely had a lot of fun doing this with you guys. If I'm to be perfectly honest, it lasted longer than I expected.
Yeah, we were in a pretty good groove for a while.
Yeah, I mean, anything getting more than one person in the same place at the same time to do the same thing consistently week after week is very difficult. I mean, there's a reason why collaborations, on a lot of YouTubers' channels tend to be they sat down and recorded like 5 or 6 episodes straight, and then got together again like 3 weeks later to do it again, because it's difficult to find a reliable weekly time to get together. So I'm surprised that we went. I think it was a little under 2 years.
I was about to ask that. Did we hit the?
I think
2 year
our
mark?
our first episode was the beginning of December of 2013. I think.
So we
then-
did hit the 2 year mark.
Yeah. Well, we got close because it was
this
December
episode,
2013, and then with this episode, yeah,
Ha.
yeah, that'll work. That'll make it legit. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, I like the fact that we ended up starting a separate channel for it. I thought that was pretty cool, and that the transition for that went pretty well. because I was wondering, how well is that going to go? And that went pretty well. I remember just kind of like looking back through the previous episodes. I remember having a lot of fun when we had Q Magnet on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest guest that we managed to get.
It has times 6 to whatever that is. You got quadruple, quintupled, and sextupled.
It's sextupled.
Our next highest viewer episode.
Right. So that was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
And it was just and Q's a great guy to talk to as well. So, and I think didn't we end up getting him back into Doctor Who or into Doctor Who?
I think we did. There was a lot of Whovian talk that I was not privy to, so I think you guys really bonded over that.
Yeah.
Well,
Sadly, I did not. I disbanded.
You disbanded.
I actually started watching. I don't remember if it was because of that podcast or another one where we talked about Doctor Who and stuff. But I started watching Supernatural recently because of some of the conversations we had on this podcast.
Ah, right. Yeah.
I wonder.
Very
Okay, I was thinking. Okay, what's our most viewed episode? Then I thought about the Q Magnet thing. What do you guys think is the most said word? And what do you think is the most, aside from like stupid words, and what do you think is the most talked about topic?
I think podcast might be up there.
Podcast probably
Probably
was stated on a
pirate-related,
regular basis.
Something pirate related.
Yeah. From me, I often did well, there you go. Or that's sort of like filler thing. Whenever someone would make a point, that would be my way of agreeing. Yeah, there you go.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Or speaking of,
that was your big thing. Speaking of random other thing that we
That
weren't
is not
actually speaking
related.
of. Yeah. I think if
and
Them
then-
Guys podcast is going to be known for anything throughout the ages, it was our seamless transitions from topic to topic.
like it really, you could do a case study on it if we're honest.
There are theses being written.
I hope you said theses.
I was
With a T.
thinking that it's like I have to pronounce this very clearly. Enunciate. This can be misconstrued. But yeah, there are college papers being written on the on the topic of just how genius our transition skills are and how they're a model for future generations.
We'll put the address to the symposium in the description below.
Yeah. I don't know what you were saying. What was some of the words that got set off, and what was one of the other things that you would ask? Oh, like the topic. What topic did we come back to frequently?
Yeah, I think
we did talk
Minecraft
about
would probably
Doctor
be
Who a
number
lot.
1, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Minecraft would probably be number 1.
Minecraft was pretty big. We would cover. Well, the funny thing is, I guess in the lifetime of the podcast, because we're not talking any of the Minecraft 1.9 news,
Right.
as part of the finale. So technically, as part of the podcast, we probably only covered one major release of
That's true.
Minecraft because of how
We probably
slow the release
gave
schedule was.
a bit of an oral history of Minecraft's demise.
A little bit, yeah. Man, I can't. I'm trying to think of channels that have a regular Minecraft series anywhere. Like, is anybody even still recording from the Minecraft server? Like, Beef's Minecraft series ended some time ago, or not ended, but stalled.
No,
I guess,
it's funny
some time
because they
ago.
kicked off all the people that are still doing Minecraft videos and quote unquote kicked
Yeah.
off. But
Right.
I think Etho probably is still, right?
Yeah, Etho is, and Doc. They
Doc
just started
is.
a Hermitcraft thing.
BOO
where they're
is
recording
almost
together.
exclusively Minecraft,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of funny to think about. There is one somewhat topical thing that I'd like to discuss on the podcast, because I think it's just kind of an odd thing that came out, speaking of Minecraft recently. This project that Good had been trying to get off the ground for years, the Minecraft Island, like it's Survivor in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, having seen part of the first episode and then, frankly, just turning it off, is that too much time has passed
Yeah,
for this thing to even still be relevant.
Yeah.
it's
And there
very
was so
true.
much hype behind it. Like, I feel bad for him because I know they all put a lot of time into it, but I feel like it's just it missed its time. It missed the mark, and it's just not actually worth it now.
Yeah.
And I feel horrible saying that as someone who has been a content producer himself and knows how horrible that can be when that sort of thing happens. But still,
Yeah, I think
what
the
do you
thing
guys
is
think?
that back when they made it, so I think they started this. I mean, they started this when BTC was added, right? So
Yeah.
that's how long ago they started this
Yeah,
thing.
they said
and
September 2013 was when they made it.
Yeah, they did it all that during that month.
So that was like when we started, before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tells you anything. But the crazy thing is that back then, getting on the Minecraft server was like this myth, this legend, right?
Right.
And like it still kind of is because nobody gets on the Minecraft server or the Minecraft. Sorry, not Minecraft.
Right.
Minecraft server. So this whole thing is like I really want to see how they're going to do the end of this because whoever wins is supposed to get on the Minecraft server, right? They're supposed to have a spot on there, and we know that they did not. And if they get it now, it's almost like, well, welcome
pointless.
to the single player.
I don't get it all, and it's a little bit awkward too because Old Man Willikers is in it, and I know that like things got weird between him and Good during the Play Minecraft stuff, so it was weird seeing him in a video, you know. So it's all very peculiar.
Are we allowed to spoil the first episode, or should we not?
Whatever.
I was gonna say,
what are the listeners gonna do to us?
Right, we can't do anything. Spoilers are coming soon. Just so
you guys are powerless against us.
That's right. Drew, can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, I've watched the first episode of like the actual
that's
thing,
all I think is coming
plus Old Man Williker's perspective, plus Honey Play's perspective. So,
well, so Old Man gets kicked out on the first episode. So it's like he was the only. Okay, he was completely obnoxious in that thing, but he was the only semi-entertaining thing about the first episode, and he got kicked off. So it's like, okay, the rest of this might be really boring.
Yeah.
And that's like
I don't know. I mean, it's. Oh. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love his sense of humor. He's still my favorite YouTuber, and like I recognize that some of the stuff he does, if you were one of those people on there and you were trying to be super serious about it, you would probably be really annoyed. But at the same time, like just watching it as a fan, like I recognize like he's like that's not actually like he doesn't actually believe those things he's saying. He's just being entertaining. And
well, that was the problem, was that nobody else was being entertaining and he was being like hyper entertaining. So it was like he was the only thing that you could tell so it was actually edited by Full Screen, right? I saw something about that. They did a lot of editing, the Minecrackers did themselves, but the final, the final overall thing was edited by their network. And you could tell they were like, well, nothing entertaining happened, so we're just going to keep cutting back to Old Man Willikers over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't have any intention of watching this series as it plays out.
I think I'm going to watch it just to see how... I mean, I know so much work went into it. I'm going to watch it just because I'm mostly interested to know who got screwed out of this whole thing. And I'm wondering if it's going to be Vaughn.
It might be.
Because that would... I know I've had conversations with him before about getting on the Minecraft server. And he said that they just decided it wasn't the best thing. And that was after all this stuff happened. So I don't know if he was covering for that or what.
Well, from what I understand, they actually haven't chosen the winner yet. Like, there's some sort of, like, the show's going to end with, like, I don't know if it's down to 2 people or how it's going to be figured out, but they're actually going to essentially live stream the final part of it.
Good lord. 3 years later.
Yeah. I know, like, who cares to get on the... I guess I would, if I were still LPing and stuff, I would totally care to be a part of Minecraft and, like, you know, have your name associated with it and get to play some of the games or do podcasts with those guys and stuff. But I would not care to get on the Minecraft server at all. I mean, that's, like, the worst part of Minecraft right now.
Yeah, Minecraft isn't really the thing anymore.
Yeah.
And honestly, like... the idea of becoming part of Minecraft as a result of this like competition reality show, just it seems stupid to me. Like I liked when they added people because hey, we like this person. Let's add them because they're a good fit for the group, rather than let's have a whole big competition with a whole bunch of hype and three years worth of delay in release. And
that's the weird thing is this was like the last, I guess, open, kind of semi-open competition to get on. Like, every other thing has been a selection, right? Because Chad was a selection, Seth was a selection, Ari was a selection. But back in the day, like Arcus and Baj and even Beef and I can't...
Yeah, that was competition early on.
All the rest of those guys were competition, so it's weird.
It's very weird. So, I don't know. Just seems peculiar to me.
It's weird how much things can change in 2 years. Even something where the community has just completely like built up and declined that quickly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's also kind of awkward. I mean, I mentioned the awkwardness of Old Man Willikers being part of it, given what ended up happening later. Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of awkward that like the map and all that stuff was a BTC thing,
right?
When he's not even part of the network anymore. So it's like, I don't know. Not that I'm sad to see him go, just as a personal. Sorry to any BTC fans listening, but
I don't think BTC listens.
No.
I'm sorry.
That was awesome.
Too easy.
I salute you, sir. I highly approve of that comment. So.
All right, well, do you guys want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in the future?
Sure.
Okay.
You start.
Okay.
You first.
So yeah, even though we're not doing the podcast anymore, I just got my new computer. It's all excuse me, I have something in my throat. It's all
what is it?
It's choking Drew, his new computer.
It's actually a little bit of taco meat.
Oh.
Darn.
Taco Bell is killing Drew.
Anyway, yeah, so I just got my new computer and like it's a pretty nice computer. Spent a lot of money on it. It's spent a lot of time building it, putting it together. And so I'm like working on getting all my software and stuff reinstalled, but I'm actually very much planning to start recording again. Now with my work schedule and everything, like I don't know that it's going to be even once a week, but I had a lot of fun recording and editing videos, and I want to continue that. And I have a couple of friends that I've made at work that I might be doing some collaborative stuff with. So yeah, I definitely plan on still being around and maybe doing some stuff on the Carnage Terra server again and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, definitely, if you're a subscriber to the podcast and you're not a subscriber to Drew's channel, definitely go subscribe to his channel. Links in the description. It would be well worth your time. As far as me and my content production future, I'm not anticipating getting back into LPing at all. It's just the scheduling and the time and whatnot. It's just not in the cards for me. I would kind of like to get to a point where maybe I could record more open source game reviews. They are consistently the thing that people most look for, and I haven't put one of those up since like, oh man, like August 2012 or 2013. I mean, it's been a long time. But they're still, month to month, they're the most viewed videos on my channel, because I think it's something that people actually look for. Open source gaming is not something that there's not a lot of resources for that. So I feel like that would be more of a service than it would be a source of entertainment. And I feel like that might be something that I could do better. Plus, the videos don't have to be all that long, so they don't take up all that much of my crowded real-life schedule. And I might do the occasional, vlog thing. Like, I'm going to PAX East this year, so I might record stuff and put stuff up there. I haven't decided yet. Mainly, I'm trying to figure out how to not be super awkward with the fact that nothing's gone up on my channel since, I think, February 2015. And how do I put new content on the channel without being really odd. Like, this channel's been completely inactive for over a year, and
resume.
Just random thing shows up.
You can make something up, like make up a story like either you were captured or your channel was taken down and reinstated, or
abducted by aliens. I do a vlog with my hair all like wild disarray like the History Channel guy. I'm not saying I've been inactive for a year because of aliens, but it was aliens.
Even better, you make it seem like you time traveled. So you literally just
like
jumped forward a year.
I just skipped over the intervening year. I would need to construct a TARDIS. I guess if I could get a TARDIS prop that I could phase myself in, that would be pretty cool too.
I have a TARDIS Lego set. You can borrow that.
my son actually has one of those. I wonder if that TARDIS is still intact. Those sets tend not to stay intact for very long. So that's probably not going to be an option, at least in terms of what I've got. But I don't know. Honestly, it's probably going to be if something does go up on my channel again, it's probably going to be without any pomp and circumstance or fanfare or explanation of where I've been. It's probably just going to be, and here's another video. The most awkward thing about my channel is not the fact that I just stopped with no real it didn't even really fizzle. Like, I was on a pretty regular schedule, and then I decided I was going to take a week off, and then that felt really good, so I took another week off, and then I took a year off. and it's just, like, I realized taking that week off that I wasn't feeling it anymore. I didn't have the passion for it that I did when I first started it. And that was fine for pretty much every video series I had going, with the possible exception of Q Magnet's map. I had like 2 more sections of Diversity 2 to finish.
Me too. That's why I stopped my channel.
That's true. You were partway through Diversity 2 when you did yours, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason.
I think we can officially say that Q Magnet killed at least 2 YouTube channels.
Yeah, I think that's probably legitimate.
Hey, Snow.
Yep.
When is the Firewatch LP coming out?
I did a Let's Play, but the only person watching was my cat, so...
Well, I trust your cat's opinions on things.
Did you still do
commentary? So if your cat wants to write a review...
Yeah, I was talking to her the entire time, and she found it very entertaining, and I think she used the word intelligent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
So, great reviews, but sorry you guys won't get to see that one.
Exclusive for the feline community.
You know what the worst thing about not doing an LP on Firewatch is that it was like an 8-hour game. And I don't even think it was that long. I think it was like 4 hours. I could have done an LP on it and actually finished it. Which I don't think has ever happened.
Yeah.
Can we at least hear your opinion of it?
I actually really liked it. Let's see. Are you guys going to play it? Do you want me to give like a full opinion? Or I won't be too long about it if you don't want me to.
I mean,
I'm almost guaranteed not to play it, but that's just me.
Drew, can I give a full review?
It's fine with me, but for any of the listeners, from what I've heard, you basically, if you're planning to play it, you can't really hear anything about it at all. So just a heads up.
Okay, so if you plan to play it, just stop listening here. All right, good. Now that those people are gone, it was really good. Like the whole point is that you're this guy that it's kind of a sad story in the beginning. You have this wife who had amnesia, early onset dementia or something, and you pretty much like leave her, which is the worst thing imaginable, I think. Anyway, you go up in the Firewatch hut, and it's like in the 80s, and you're in Wyoming or someplace like that. And the only other contact you have is this other lady in a Firewatch tower that you can barely see from where you are. And the great thing about the game is the imagery and like how complete the entire setting feels. So it was really, really cool. You could walk around all kinds of different places, and you would all of a sudden be in a really lush valley, and then all of a sudden be in a barren desert type area, and it felt really open, and it was really cool. So the whole game revolves around this like tense mystery about what's going on, why you're in this hut, or not necessarily why you're in it, but like there's just this weird mystery revolving around everything. And it kind of gets solved, and like you kind of figure out the mystery about this kid going missing, and eventually you find out that his dad murdered him, kind of, or mostly accidentally let him die and then never told anybody. So whatever you want to call that. But this whole time, it's like, depending on how you play the game, you either kind of develop this relationship with the girl in the other tower via the walkie-talkie, or you kind of, based on your choices, you can kind of push her away, and it's really cool that way. But the whole time, it's kind of building up to like, are you finally going to get to meet Delilah, the other girl? Are you finally, is something finally going to happen? Are you going to die out there? What's going to happen? So you get to the end, and it's like, Delilah's like, hey, there's this huge fire, they're evacuating us, we got to get out. And she's getting on this helicopter. She's like, are you going to get here? And you're like, yeah, I'm on my way. And she's like, well, I got to go. So she goes up in the helicopter, and you never see her.
Oh.
And that's like the end of the game. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's one of those artistic, like, left up to your interpretation type things. So I don't necessarily mind it too much, because it's kind of like you can't give her a face at that point. But I really liked the game. It was enjoyable. A little scary.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a lead in to what is going on with my channel, which is obviously nothing, and will probably be left as a museum to 2 years of my life, probably. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not really gonna upload anything. I don't have any plans to, unless something else random happens, but
Right.
most likely not. It's just, it took a ton of work, and I know I put a lot of editing time, a lot more than a lot of people did, just because I kind of enjoyed it, and I like the production value part of it, and I don't really like putting out videos that I don't put a ton of editing into. Mm-hmm. So it took up a ton of time. Can you guys hear my cat? She is going crazy.
That was amazing. Wow. I know she's not even in the room, but that was
she's behind a closed door, and she is wowzers. But yeah, I think I don't know. I look back on it, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that we got to do, the three of us, and then a lot of really cool stuff I got to do as a YouTuber and as an LPer, and I think it's kind of cool to just leave it at that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. Like, it's amazing how much work it is when you really finally get into it. It can be a lot of fun to get started, but to like be consistent about it and to try to actually grow your channel and all that, there's a lot more than just, I'm going to sit down and play some video games and upload footage of me playing video games.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more to it than that. And for one thing, I have a much better appreciation for when the professional YouTubers, the guys that are doing well enough that they can do this as their job. The amount of work that they put into it and the production quality of the stuff that they put up, especially like Zisto's stuff. I don't know if you guys watched any of his Minecraft Let's Play that he's doing. But
nuts.
He puts so much crazy, like he's got stuff thought out like 50, 100 episodes in advance.
Right,
of
and
where
let's
he's
not,
actually at.
not even including, he has crazy production quality too, or at least like how much editing he does and how many little things he adds to his episodes. But how much work goes into making one of his episodes? Him and Etho also?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, you sit down and you want to record an episode, and those guys, they literally will spend a week like making the stuff for an episode. Etho maybe not so much. He at least spends a night or two doing all the work, but Zisto's nuts.
You get a much better appreciation for it whenever you do it yourself. It's like I've said this to people on the tabletop gaming circuit, that world, where it's like, you can sit down and enjoy playing like a tabletop RPG, but you don't really get a full appreciation for the effort that the dungeon master, the game master, is going through until you try doing that part of it yourself. And then you get a whole new appreciation for it. And it's sort of the same thing with YouTube. Like, you can enjoy these YouTube videos and be like, oh, they put a lot of work into this or whatever. But you get a whole new perspective and a whole new appreciation for it trying it yourself. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful also for just the friendships that I've made. Like, I wouldn't have met Drew or Snow or, any of the other Carnus Terra folks, if not for being interested in doing YouTube, because I wouldn't have... if I wasn't trying to do, a YouTube channel back in the day, I wouldn't have participated in that UHC thing, that the then Vintage Bee fan server had. And so I wouldn't have, ended up meeting anybody through that. So I'm thankful for those interactions and those, meeting new friends that way as well.
Yeah, if I hadn't...
So it's... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, kind of the same for me. Like, even if I had done YouTube and I had done... even if I had done the AlphaCraft server, if I hadn't done that UHC, like, I never would have joined Carnage Terra and met all the people in there. I definitely wouldn't have had the podcast. I probably wouldn't have gone to PAX East. Like...
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that I've done. One, I mean, also because of my YouTube channel, I left the country for the first time and I went to Scotland, and I'm going to Bolivia this year. So it's like I never traveled before, and now I'm like, it's awesome. So
yeah,
it's very cool.
I think we all kind of had that similar experience. Like I went to Orlando, like halfway for Minecon and halfway not for Minecon, but getting to meet a ton of people down there and stuff. That was all really cool. And like a little pocket of my life that is just, there. A lot of really cool stuff happened. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Not very many people can say that all three of us can say that we had a somewhat of a friend that has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's true too.
That's kind of crazy.
Yep. So yeah, we still, at some point, the three of us, we still need to figure out a place where we can all three, because we haven't all three been in the same physical space at the same time yet.
I know.
And that still needs to happen. Podcast, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Podcast be darned.
Exactly.
I mean that could be, we don't know what'll happen when the three of us are all in one place at one time. Like, it could be the end of the world. Like,
it could be. It could be. If you notice Armageddon has occurred, then you'll know that the three of us finally met up and combined our respective evil powers.
We'll put out a tweet or something just to be like,
be aware.
Yeah.
We're all going to blank location at the same time.
Stay away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although if it's Armageddon, you don't really. You just deal with it.
Well, it's probably only like a 200-mile radius. Yeah. If you're outside of that, you're probably
We'll do it in like a nuclear testing facility or something.
That would be the weirdest place to meet for the first time.
Let's meet up in a World War II bunker, guys. It sounds
I have
fantastic.
one like 30 minutes away from my house. So.
I wouldn't mind doing one of those survival rooms with you guys, though. Have you ever seen
I've got
those?
an $80 gift card to one right now.
Do you really?
Let's do it. You guys might have to pay a little bit more than $80 to get here, but
just slightly.
No, those are great. I did.
Have you ever done one before?
What was that?
Have you ever done one before?
Yeah, I've done 2 so far.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't done one yet, but I want to do one of those.
They're so cool. It's like the point and clicks. I was a huge fan of point and click escape the room games, and it's just like that, except in real life. So the first one I did, though, it was kind of an embarrassing story, but I made a huge mistake and did not go to the bathroom before I walked in the room.
Oh no!
Not noticing that I had to go to the bathroom, and it got to a point. You have an hour in the room, and like 10 minutes in, I was like, "Holy crap! I really have to go to the bathroom." So I waited like another 10 minutes. And I was like, "I'm not going to be able to make it," and I was like over in the corner. I was like, "Okay, I need out of the room." So anyway, that was hilariously embarrassing. But
that's a fun experience.
Yeah, I had to use the key to get out of the room. I also, so the first one, they had all these, like, I don't know, it was cool, but they were all, like, really segregated puzzles. Like, you'd go do a puzzle over here, and that would give you a key that unlocked a box, and you do that puzzle over there. And it was all just, like, very cookie-cutter type. Here's a puzzle, here's a puzzle, here's a puzzle. And then in the end, anybody who's going to come to Oklahoma and play this, stop listing here. The end was, like, they gave you this book in this room, and there was nothing in the book, no signal or anything about the book, but the book was called Into Thin Air, and I'd never heard of it before, but apparently it's a semi-popular book, and it's about Mount Everest, and apparently just because that book was in the room, you had another address book that had all these like probably 10 pages of addresses in it, and you were supposed to be able to make the connection that the book, this one book in the room was about Mount Everest, and the address book had address with the Everest as a street, and that means that you're supposed to use the house number from that address to unlock the door.
Wow.
It's like so abstract.
I was gonna say that doesn't seem like one of the more well-designed escape rooms.
No, I was pretty disappointed, aside from the fact that I had to leave the middle of the room. That was disappointing. Oh, and on top of that, in that experience, so there a lot of that was like you have to do a lock, then you have to do another lock, then you have to do another lock. There was this guy, so they did it hibachi style, is what I call it, where You know, you walk in and there's like 8 people and you only know 3 of them because you came with those 3 and they
right,
4
right.
others. So one of the guys was sitting there just like, he was pulling the locks and like waiting until he got the padlocks to click correctly and then would just open them. I was like, seriously? You paid $20 a person to come in here and watch you break locks. Like,
That's pretty ridiculous.
yeah. Anyway, that was my first experience. Second experience was so awesome. This dude had all these electromechanical puzzles, and like you do something that would open a latch on the other side of the room, and like this whole box of like what do you call those plastic balls from the ball pit would all fall out, and like they would have numbers on them. You had to put them in the right order. That one was really, really cool.
That's pretty cool.
And I was a beta tester for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I got that one for free, and then I got a gift
Nice.
card to go back, and he's got another one. So.
Cool. Did you guys ever see the one that they put up on the Geek and Sundry YouTube channel?
No, they did one?
Yeah, they did with Felicia Day, Zachary Levi. Who else was in that one? I forget who the other 2 people were off the top of my head because it was a while ago. It's an older video. But they did an escape room, and it was like a horror-themed escape room. Like they had been locked into this place. And it was extremely well done. Like at one point there's like a guy who's an actor who's portraying the part of a fellow victim that they have to they discover in the walls.
Oh gosh.
And he like rambles stuff and says like he's like in character he's like rambling things so that he can give them occasional hints when they look like they're stuck. You know, like I can tell that's a thing. I guess I don't know whether was that obvious or whether it's from my like. Dungeon mastering experience or whatever, but I could tell that's sort of what he was there for. But it was really impressive, and the whole time they had this countdown going on the wall to when the guy was going to release like poison gas or whatever. And it was made all the more entertaining by the fact that Felicia Day was one of the people that was in there because she was being super neurotic about the whole thing. Like she was just freaking out the entire time. So that if you haven't watched that, you need to go to their channel and watch that because that was really good.
It was Felicia Day, Zachary Levi, Seth Green, and Claire Grant, who I'm not sure who the last one.
What's the name of the video?
It's
I
one of
just
the
Googled-
vlog episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, it says The Flog, Room Escape with Zachary Levi, Seth Green, and Claire Grant.
Let's pray it's the only thing that shows up under flog whenever I type that in. Okay, yep, we're good.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that video. And I recommend it to you guys at home. It'll be like our last video recommendation in the description.
Ah.
This kind of turned into a real podcast instead of just like a goodbye video.
It did, which is cool because when the 3 of us get together, I think we have a lot of fun talking. It's just that we just haven't had the time anymore.
Yeah,
life moves on, things
true.
change, and it's difficult to get this stuff going. But I figure at this point we'll just, if anybody has any final thoughts that they want to give on the podcast, on YouTubing, on life in general, now would probably be a good time.
broccoli is green.
That life in general is the category that falls under. Not sure what else I have to say about that comment.
I'm impressed that you came up with something to say about that comment, so kudos to you for that.
Thank you. I think one of the things I was going to mention about YouTubing that I really like the most, and it's not really like interpersonal, like friendship, lovey-dovey things, but is the marketing that goes into it. If you guys look at your most popular videos, like just seeing the patterns, because I work with one of my job right now is I do a lot of software development and like data analysis. So
I gotcha.
You can see just like what grabs people's attentions based on what's the most popular videos on your channel and why they're popular.
Mm-hmm.
It's always really interesting. Like my number one video is a tutorial. So just from being on YouTube, everybody loves tutorials.
Right.
Number 2 and 3 are related to beef. So it's like the golfing with beef. And then like 80% of the next ones are all first episodes of some series.
Right.
And then there are random ones like Breaking the Rules, one of my Vintage Beef fan server episodes is like number 9 or something like that, which is really out of place and weird, but I think it's because people wanted to see me cheat. And then the episode right after that was just like the thumbnail is me with a bunch of diamonds around me, and that's like my 10th most watched video. Anyway.
Nice.
That's just a random YouTube thought, but
yeah. From from the wow, my brain just completely quit on me halfway through that thought.
It's an election.
Well, that was
year.
fun.
Okay. Yeah,
from the perspective of analytics, from the perspective of the analytics on YouTube, I get a kick out of seeing the stuff that ends up being more popular for no apparent reason, because from the perspective of someone that produced the video, and it's part of a series or whatever, and a lot of times it's like, this doesn't feel any different than any of the other videos that I did. I don't know what magic I got captured in this video that people liked that they didn't like in anything else. So that amuses me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it also amuses me that having not uploaded anything in over a year, I still get subscribers. Like, my subscriber count has actually grown for being completely inactive.
See, you're pretty good because you have that niche of like open source gaming. So like, there's probably not that many channels that are doing that stuff, right?
Right.
So you've always got, when people
the
search for that, they'll come to, I mean, somewhere down the line, I'm sure there's a couple of people that are doing it, but somewhere down the line, they come to your channel, and that's always cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because like, I get tons of views and comments and everything on that one. I hit gold with the Attack of the B Team mod pack showcase video, which is slightly embarrassing
right.
because I didn't put any time into that. I just lined up a bunch of crap and started talking about this is this, and this is this, and this is this. And it's like, I get why all the popular YouTubers would do that, but it's so interesting because that's like one of the premier Attack of the B Team mod pack, like, tutorial videos, and I get people asking me all the time questions about Attack of the B Team mod pack, and I have no idea anymore. I don't know how the thing even works anymore. I didn't even know it's still out. So,
yeah, that's pretty true. That's pretty funny.
It's funny.
I find that strange.
So. Well, Drew, you had some thoughts you wanted to share, I think.
Aside from broccoli.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna mention on the what you were saying about you can see what your most viewed videos are. I know my top 2 videos are, for the longest time, it was my Assassin's Creed glitch video, and that makes sense to me. But my most viewed video is when we're all congratulating Beef on 1 million subscribers, and then like he shared it and everything. So that's absolutely it's way above any of my others. Like, I think the Assassin's Creed one is like a few hundred views, and that one's over like 6,000 views. So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
But I haven't gained or lost any subscribers in the last year. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Status quo is good for an inactive channel,
Yeah.
I was just looking through mine. My most viewed video is still my one. It's entitled Minecraft Fully Auto 99.9% Efficient Cobblestone Generator. And it has apparently 18,000-ish views.
Wow.
I'm looking on mobile, so I don't have the exact count. But it says 18K views. And what's funny is that it's not even the best like cobble generator design that there is.
But it is
like
99.9% efficient.
It's the not. This isn't even the design that I use because it has a long reset lag between giving you when it needs to give you a new pickaxe. It takes a while to actually give you the new pick. So you sit there, you actually end up breaking like 2 or 3 blocks of cobblestone by hand, which is why you lose cobble. But for some reason, that's my absolute most popular video, and then all the rest of them are like open source video games.
Is that
with the occasional random Minecraft episode?
Is that the one that you used when you were AFK farming, and then your child came in and moved the mouse and killed you because of it?
That's one of them. That was the original. Yeah. The one that actually happened, I had modified the design to get rid of that delay. I used the same basic concept that the like the automatic fishing hole that uses, where it just spits a new fishing rod at you every time you catch a fish, and if you need it, you pick it up. Otherwise, it falls through and recycles back into the system. But yeah, that was the stuff. I think it was my daughter toddled in here, moved the mouse, pointed my character straight down, and I don't know what exactly happened, what the sequence of events was. I think, trying to piece it together later, that I dug all the way down to bedrock, and as a result of the digging, I think I actually used up all of my hunger bar and ended up starving to death at the bottom of the pit.
She literally dug you a grave.
Literally dug me a grave. And so when I came back and I saw that I had died, I was like, wow, this is really weird. Now, thankfully, I took off all my stuff because I knew I was using this farm, So I didn't lose anything. But when I went to investigate, the way that I had it set up, you had to go up like 2 or 3 flights of steps to get into the spot where you stand. And so when I come in, I can't see the hole that was dug for the steps. So I walk up the steps and I end up falling straight down the hole to bedrock again and dying a second time. And there were a couple people on. I think Zombie Stein was on and Valravo was on at the time. And they're like, what's going on with you? You starved to death and then you fell to your death. Like, that's bizarre. And I'm like, it's my 2-year-old daughter. She's causing me problems. So, yeah. And she's 5.5 now. It's kind of crazy how fast the time has flown there. But yeah, that was the one. All right. Well, I think that we've finished going down memory lane. Yeah. We hope you appreciated this somewhat topical and somewhat retrospective finale episode of Dem Guys Podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us the past couple of years. We've enjoyed hearing from you guys and getting your questions to answer and going off on weird tangents and transitioning from topic to topic poorly. All that sort of stuff. Keep an eye out for us. You might find us doing other things at some point. Drew definitely will be. Maybe you'll see Snow or I at some point in the future that we can't even predict. Who knows?
Maybe so. Just watch out for that Armageddon tweet.
That's right. Absolutely.
You must follow and favorite us on Twitter so that you get notifications, because if we're tweeting, it's probably bad.
Yeah, it's a bad sign. Your life is about to end. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks, everybody.
Is this it?
This is it.
Yep. Thank you for joining us on the listenership.
Indeed.
You may now...
You may now disembark.
Disembark, thank you. I was trying to think of the
Get
term.
off.
Bye!
Llama plop.